Adventure and Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with our next guest who has some killer music, some decomposed music from Pythonic. So welcome to the show, Vince. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. I want to start right off the bat. Okay, the music's badass, but the artwork is super badass, and I like talking about artwork. I think it's a lost art, you know, and I'm trying to make sure that we keep that going because, you know, I think it's all part of it. It's all part of the album.
Right. It helps, you know, draw like a visual to what you're trying to interpret with the music a lot of times. This one, we went a little bit more conceptual than like taking stuff from an actual song towards the artwork. So we released our first EP last year. We had a different singer, kind of a different lineup for that whole EP. We used like a tree and like a guy in front of it. He was kind of like he was supposed to be like healing himself from the tree. But then we kicked out our singer at the beginning of last year and brought in. We pretty much moved our bass player from bass to vocals because he's so good. He's so good at vocals. I didn't realize he was that good when I brought him in on bass.
Nice.
And so we ended up going like a lot more of like a death metal approach with like vocals and just like the sound, the way everything's been evolving. So I'm like, it'd be really cool to take that original tree. And if we're doing these same original song, like the same 5 songs, just redone with new style, rewritten, we took that tree and just decomposed it. Like I got the same artist. She took the same whole set of the tree elements that she had for the first one, took off all the leaf parts because she had it all in layers set up on her digital workspace. And then she was able to just kind of put the mushrooms and everything in there like she has. And she did a really great job. She was telling me about it the one time, and she was doing research into like what kind of mushrooms grow on trees and how they look. So then it would be a little bit more authentic. So I just, you know, you don't get that kind of detail when you're like, I've seen some bands, they've been using AI stuff for art, and I can't. I can't believe that somebody who's trying to make music will willingly take AI art to use. Because I'm like, do you want AI music to take your spot? Like,
well, not only that, because I totally agree with you with that, but like I would think an artist that would just go against their morals as an artist, like it,
right?
I wouldn't do it. Like, listen, in my industry, there's a lot of AI out there, and you could create a whole podcast with AI, and I just think it's stupid.
Yeah, no, it's really bad. And the fact that like a lot of this stuff did get released with not a lot of like precautions or like kind of like almost like guidelines or laws around it is just kind of insane to me, honestly. Yeah, look how much people have been making money off of just AI music on Spotify. There was that one band, they had like 1 million followers.
That's insane. Yeah, you know, the fact of the matter is the reason they give us this AI, which most people don't realize, is so we can train it. These big corporations don't have to pay anything in research and development because we're doing it for them for free. And then, you know, like everybody gave Lars crap about, you know, Napster, and he was right on the money if we look at today. And people are doing the same thing again. They're giving a lot of crap about the AI thing, you know, and we're going to see years down the road, if you let it happen, if artists let it happen, you won't need musicians. Music will be a lost art, unfortunately.
I really hope it doesn't come to that, but then, yeah, it's I even locally, we've had one band, they put up an artwork for a demo and somebody was like, this looks like you guys made it with AI, and they actually admitted to it and they got put on blast so hard. They took that whole demo down and everything because it was a band I really like. They just kind of started up in the last year or two, and they had like 100 comments on one of their posts from that album or that demo, and I was like, "Whoa,
well, see, that gives me hope. That gives me hope actually, because listen, the whole idea of making music or making art that would be on an album cover, on a wall, or anywhere else is the human element. Like the creativity should be done by humans. Let the business stuff be done by machines.
Right? Yeah, like, and it's just, you know, if you're already putting so much work creatively into something, wouldn't you want somebody else to also put some creative work?
Yeah.
If you can't do the art yourself, like,
exactly.
I just always preferred it, but that's just because, I don't know, I just come from a lot more of a old school kind of vibe of it all.
I think it should be old school and new school. I am old school. I think it should be new school too. Listen, like, I think it's incredible. That's why I started off the interview with talking about the artwork, because I think it's also incredible that you brought back the same artist. Okay. Because that makes so much sense too, because that same artist already kind of knows your vision, already has that connection and can expand upon it. And I do love the whole concept of like decaying everything. Like, it's kind of brilliant actually.
Yeah. Well, especially like with how much we've actually kind of shaved off the EP, because over the full play length, I think it's like 4 minutes we took off the total runtime. Just like getting rid of riffs that just were redundant or played too many times or honestly just didn't work that well for the song.
Right.
There's one song we didn't even play it together live before we recorded it, like not like live on stage, but like in a practice before we recorded it. Everybody took their parts and just learned them, and then we recorded them and released them. And it's probably been one of our bigger songs off of the EP. So now we have to actually start learning it all together. But we're all very practiced, so it went really well the first time we tried running it. But Liturgy, that song turned out amazing, and I think it fits really well with the artwork as well, just because you kind of have like that demonic eye in the tree in the middle, and Liturgy is about, you know, summoning demons to like lay waste to the land. And so
that's what I love about that, because it's connected. Like, you know, I know when I was a teenager, I would sit there with an album and just consume that album cover and like go into a trance somewhere else while I was listening to the music, because they were so connected that you could drift away. And I think we need that more than ever nowadays, because we need to escape all the bullshit in this world. No better way but music. Music is the ultimate unifier and the ultimate therapy, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So what is it that made you get into like decide, I want to be a musician, but not just like somebody is young and they're like, oh, I want to be a musician, but really to have the passion for it, like there was no other choice?
Well, like I've always, like for like almost my whole life, I've kind of thought about doing this. Even when I was a very little kid, one of my earliest memories is like being 5 years old. I'm underneath of my bunk beds. I have my Fisher Price tape recorder, and I'm listening to Judas Priest, British Steel from my parents' tape collection. So like, just, you know, I just always kind of grew up around metal. I always kind of like the idea of like performing for people, because I always just kind of was like that as a kid. Definitely through like middle school and high school, I was like a little less of the performative. But that's when I started playing a little bit more music. I did have one of my grandfather. He was he played guitar, and he played in a bunch of polka bands. So he was like the first person to kind of show me some stuff, and that definitely kind of had a little bit to do with wanting to go more into playing in bands, but mostly all through high school, I'm like, oh, I want to have a band. I want to have a band. Couldn't get anything going because I was from a very small town. So when you don't have the people, it's hard to do anything. And then closest city is a whole hour away. So it's like, that's a lot of driving when you're young.
Totally.
But yeah, once I moved to the city and I was doing post-secondary schooling for a bit and nothing was working out, I started a band when I was in one program, and I just kept with it. And I've honestly been running this band for probably about 10 years now.
Nice.
And yeah, like I've been grinding at it for a while. There's been a lot of lineup changes, but I have one other guy, the other guitar player in the band. He's been in the band too for probably almost the same amount of time. I think a little bit less. But like, yeah, as soon as I got on stage the first time and we played the show, I was like, yeah, this was pretty fun. And then when you have that one show where people start moshing to your music, that's the turning point. That's the turning point when you're up there and you see these people hitting each other and you're like, whoa, something I created is making people do this.
I know, it's insane, right? I think about that all the time. Like I go on tour and I do, interviews and press coverage at festivals all over the US, UK, and Europe. And like, I'm always thinking about that. Like even the bands I'm friends with, I'm like, man, how wild is that when people are down there like moshing to your music and singing your lyrics back to you? Like that has to be the wildest thing in the beginning, like when it first happens, right?
Because we just actually played a show at the beginning of December, and we had somebody, and this was a show in another city that we've only played. This is the second time we played this city, third time in the whole 10 years we've ever played the city. And somebody was actually singing our lyrics back to us while we were on stage, and we were opening. I was like, what?
Right? It's like gotta be the weirdest and the most cool feeling, like that first time it happens too, because it kind of blows your mind, right?
Well, it's like, yeah, somebody actually listened to these songs long enough to actually know the lyrics. Because I'm like, I know, right? I never put the lyrics out anywhere yet, so I'm like, nobody's able to just read them and know them. Like they had to listen to the song.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, people that are like my kids and stuff don't always say like, Dad, how you know all the lyrics to all these songs? I'm like, well, because I listened to them probably like 20 million times in a row, and yeah. I wasn't in that track mentality. It was more like, let me just consume it as much as I can. And, the whole idea of skipping in the middle of a song is so foreign to me.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I like about records.
Yeah, exactly.
Like vinyl, that's probably my favorite way to listen. If I had like a good record player, the ones I have they're okay, but they're not nothing amazing. But like, that's definitely my favorite way to consume, because you just put it on, it starts the first track, you listen to the whole thing, you flip it over, you listen to the rest of it, and you get the full everything from the album. Because a lot of times, like, people don't realize, yeah, there's the singles, but like people release albums and they put them in orders to listen to in that particular order, because they're supposed to flow really nicely. And I feel like a lot of people get lost at that. They don't realize that's what you're supposed to be doing. A whole album's like watching a movie. It's, you listen to it front to back, not just the song you want.
No doubt. And then there's like cool little things in there, like I remember back when I was a kid, I would buy all the Beatles albums because I wanted to find all the hidden clues of why Paul McCartney was dead. Which was a big thing they did back in like a 1969 radio show. And it, like, to this day, there's people out there that still think Paul McCartney's dead and this is a fake.
Yeah.
And I think, like stuff like that made it cool and fun too. But also, like, imagine listening to Dark Side of the Moon without listening to the whole album. Or 2112 without listening to the whole album.
Right.
So tell us how people can reach out to you guys on socials, get not only the new EP, but any of your other merch or the first one, and, you know, where they can check out your tour dates, all that good stuff.
Merch, we run mostly through Bandcamp at the moment, so you can pick up shirts and all other kind of goodies on there. Most of our show dates we're mostly just posting on like our Facebook and Instagram, social media and whatnot. Yeah, it's just the pretty standard social media package. You know, you got your Instagram, your Facebook, and Bandcamp. Not too much else. We do upload some live stuff onto YouTube every now and then if we get like a really good clip. I know we have a pretty decent clip of one of our songs we haven't released yet called Gravebound up on YouTube. It's a pretty sick song.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's.
And so everybody can check your socials is basically Pythonic Band everywhere, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And what else do you want to tell the listeners about the newest EP and what's going on for you guys?
I'd say soon we got another one going to be coming out. That's one thing I'm actually going to be working on later today. And we got actually a pretty sick show we just announced, going to be in Edmonton, Alberta, and it's called Serenade Metal Fest, and it's a benefit show to raise funds for cancer and MS research.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And it's great show, great cause. The other bands on it are also super awesome. Brainstem is playing on there. They're from Edmonton. We just played with them at Slaughterfest at the beginning of December. They're definitely a band. If you like death metal, you have to check them out. They are so good.
Nice.
Probably one of the best death metal bands coming out of Alberta right now, in my opinion.
See, I love when bands like you like show everybody that you're just fans too.
Yeah. And there's when we played Slaughterfest in December here, so like Brainstem played, the headlining band was Display of Decay, and they're also just insane. They're so well put together, and their singer has such a crazy range as well. There's so many great bands, and I've noticed there's been like this nice little like upsurge kind of from right after COVID here now. We're kind of entering a lot of bands that weren't together. They're all getting back together now. You're getting all these older bands and these newer bands kind of forming, and the scene feels like it's better than it was like 10 years ago.
I think what it is too, because I've been saying all along, if you're going to take the positive out of COVID and that whole lockdown, is it gave musicians a chance to jump off the hamster wheel and get back to like making it fun and getting creative. And being able to just sit there like and not write songs on a tour bus and not have to rush things and just be able to be what originally got you into music. Yeah.
One of the bigger bands that I'm glad is releasing a new album from around my parts here, Into Eternity. They got their 7th studio album coming out soon. We actually had the pleasure of opening for them in November, and that was amazing. Stu Block I don't even know. He's one of the best vocalists, I think, in Canada. Like, I don't think anybody can really top him in metal vocals. I mean, he used to front Iced Earth for a little bit before they kind of went off the deep end. So like, if he can replace Tim the Ripper Owens in Iced Earth, obviously he's on another level, because Tim the Ripper, if he can replace Judas Priest, like Rob Halford, like when you're in that caliber, like, whoa.
I know, right? Totally. That it's iconic, and it is amazing what Ripper did, I mean, even to have a movie about him.
Yeah, right?
So, well, it's been totally cool. I think everybody's got to check out your music, especially this new EP, because it's badass. So everybody check out Pythonic, and the new EP is Decomposition. Thanks a lot, Vince, for making us some great music, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.